Just not.
Yeah, you don't rub it in. So that's
Yeah.
that thing alive. That thing alive.
I'm sorry, Chris, you have to sit down.
Doing good, so yourself.
4:45.
Cattle are getting fat.
Freezing out
We
there.
got plenty of hay.
So far.
Everybody's
Be close.
healthy, they're out. It's not gonna happen. See, right now, get on it. No,
Children home.
you don't forget.
Oh, well, yes.
You kill it, they lock up.
There's one above your house today.
Anybody kill?
Back down now. When I come out and have to last me.
Yeah, he was out in the field, like, so I right before I.
Go back to school and.
I wonder how they know that. I wonder how they know.
Oh, like a week before.
Takes some baby.
Yeah.
Sign up one of these though, but you got to stand.
Just always was.
Oh, it's not good.
Yes.
Soon as I can all these exercises, it's fall. I got to say it's. If they take football, but Sherry, I'll never know where they went. Long day.
Sure.
Oh. You'll sign something for me. You're more than welcome. Get a stamper and sheet.
You do that.
So you got all. Cindy's. Stuff would be. If I wasn't there. These are yours, and this is all. All right, I'd like to call the Pocahontas County Board of Education regular meeting to order on Tuesday, December the 3rd. It is at Martington Elementary School. All members are present. And the first item on the agenda will be to swear Mr. McNabb in. You got to plug up. Did I have to say all this over, Sue?
Oh, yeah.
Did you get it?
You got a recording.
Yes, and she's on, so she's taking that.
You got us?
We're good.
Okay. We're gonna swear in next. Move around to the front of the. Move around to the front of where everybody can see what's going on. Move around here. Damn.
Good.
It's good.
Well, go ahead, look. I, Andrew F. McNabb, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of West Virginia, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the Office of Board of Education to the best of my skill and judgment, so help me God.
We have a flag.
Yes.
Okay, let's stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
First item on the agenda is approval of the minutes for the Board of Education meeting held on December the 12th, 2024. Do I have a motion? Mr. Holmes made the motion. This is Hollingsworth second. Has everybody had a chance to look over the minutes? Any questions? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Motion carries. Number 2 is the approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion? Holmes made the motion. Do I have a second? This is Hollingsworth seconded. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda?
Yes, please. If you'll look at number 10 on your agenda, that should read Summers County High School, not Summersville.
Okay,
And we'd also like to add a volunteer boys basketball coach at Green Bank. And that is Stephen, that's SCDPHEN Simmons. That's all.
Mr. President, can I request an executive session at some point tonight, please?
what criteria does it meet? It's got to meet the right criteria. I just can't grant an executive session.
It would be, procedure.
That's not one of the thing we can go by. I talked to Jim Brown this evening. I was gonna wait till you all come up. I talked to Jim Brown this evening and we went over each one of the reasons that we could call an executive session. None of these meet that. I wanted it to be honest, but none of them would meet the agenda of what we have to do. So I can't grant an executive session.
What are the?
I can tell you,
Personnel.
Well, then personnel, this would be under personnel then.
Cameron, I have.
you have them. Do you see any reason that it meets it? Because he did. And I went over each one of them. Somebody had emailed the county thing to me, and that's what I was looking for on my phone. And I went over each one of them with him today.
You want to explain who Mr. Brown is?
Jim Brown is the president of, or the director of the West Virginia School Board Association, which gives us all of our laws and everything from, if you go to one of our meetings, all we hear is lawyers.
Do you feel like it will deal with personnel and what our students will face?
Got to be on the agenda ahead of time. That's what I got into this time. It has to be on the agenda ahead of time now.
So even me as a board member can't request it?
You can request it. But as president, I can't grant it unless it meets the requirements.
Legislature has put their fingers into a lot of things.
What people don't realize, every one of our board meetings now are board virtual. And the state has 3 people that all they do is watch board meetings to make sure that we do it correctly. In the compliance office. Do we want to meet with you all from the high school and executive session? Absolutely, we do. Absolutely, or I do. But it just doesn't meet the requirements to do that.
Well, okay, so I have my own desire for that? Is it? Can I request for it?
Did you ask for it to be put on the agenda ahead of time?
No.
Then
Didn't realize we had to.
Mrs. Bostic will tell you that she wanted to talk to us one night about lawyers. And I said, we can't do that because it's not on the agenda. And so we had to wait to the next meeting to discuss it. It has to be put on the agenda ahead of time. And it's because of the Open Meetings Act.
So for the record, so anybody who wants to have an executive session with the board has to be, now has to be on the agenda.
Yes.
Posted.
Yes,
Okay. All right.
yes.
All right. All right.
From the discussion of a student to personnel. If the superintendent wants to do an executive session on personnel, then it has to be put on the agenda. And it can't be something that we say we can make a correction of the agenda tonight. It's got to be put on there 3 days ahead of time because of the sunshine law. Okay? Any other additions or corrections to the agenda? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Motion carried. Delegations. Do we have any delegations?
Well, that's what I wanted to ask because of if there's anyone here that signed up for the delegate, wanted to sign up for a delegation and
Did we?
well, that's between the LSIC presentations and that, I think we did not get that placed out there. Don't think there are any.
Not any? Item number 4, superintendent's report and spatial recognition.
I wanted to share with you tonight the price of the positions that we have open in our county just to keep you up to date. At Green Bank Elementary Middle School, we have a counselor position that we keep reposting. Kindergarten teacher vacancy and a third grade teacher position that we have been posting. I want to back up and say too, we've been working with various colleges, sending them our vacancies to see if they have anybody who's ready for student teaching, that we could do a teacher of record. Working with the State Department on certifications, so. But I wanted to give you an update on on the vacancies up now. Hillsborough, we have a special education teacher and an aide, if you will approve that tonight, and a half-time PE teacher. At the high school, we still do not have a counselor. You all did approve the dean of students at the last meeting. And then I'm going to tell you what I've been working on for that position, and also a social studies teacher to start. The counselor at the high school, as you all know, Mrs. Beverly retired as of September the 5th. The position was posted for several weeks. We would get an applicant, then they would withdraw. Sometimes I didn't even get the interview. So, and the same thing has happened at Green Bank as well. I've reached out to some retired counselors in other counties to see if they would be interested in contracting with us. We've been in contact and conversations with the Department of Education, with the certification office, as well as the head of the counseling, Stephanie Hayes. We have to offer a school counselor, meaning that we don't have to have them full time, but we have to offer. And a school counselor must have a master's in school counseling. Now, I've explained to them, we've got youth health services, we have community care, and we have communities and schools, but that they are not qualified or certified as a school counselor. So that's where we've been round and around. So then we went the dean of students route. So we've been working on that posting, which will come out this coming Thursday. You will again approve that. We've reached out to various agencies as well to see if they know of anybody that may have that school counseling, because now we have 2 positions in the county, that 2 schools that do not have a counselor. Community care, youth health services, Marshall University, who does the master's program, the Department of Ed. And they said, we need to create a virtual counseling organization. I said, yes, you do, because we're all, a lot of us are in need of it. Also, I've talked to Michelle Deeds at PMH to see if they know if we need anybody who could do the virtual counseling. Let's see, we worked with other counties, in their postings to come up with, as well as our attorneys to come up with a posting for the dean of students. And, let's see. And I've also reached out to, again, like I said, some retired counselors, trying to get to see if they would contract with us. So far, I'm hitting zero with that. They're like, we're retired, some counties are working out a deal with, they've split special ed or another subject area with a counseling position. So different counties are trying different ways to get positions filled. Before Thanksgiving, a actual headhunter reached out to me and I said, okay, let's talk. They said, what do you have open? And I told them, and I said, my main concern right now is the counseling situation at Green Bank and at the high school. And I explained to them where we were going with the dean of students and a contracted counselor. So they are working on getting, see if they can have anyone that would be interested in coming to our area. We have working continually with the West Virginia Department of Education. I know, why is the board office calling us in?
Lauren Sherry calling.
Sorry, it's like, what's the board office calling us? We've been working with the West Virginia Department of Education, continuing with Derek Lambert and Lauren Landry. Reaching out, I actually asked them today, I said, I need to have a meeting with them, with our admin from the high school and our central office too, just to keep up to date. I did not attend the sessions that they were in last time. I think they were just here last month or this 2 weeks ago. And then I want to talk about the substitute campaign and a shout out to Christy Hammonds for her work on that. We actually have had 4 applicants because of that campaign as of now. So I know she has another push coming out. So I want to thank you for that. And parent-teacher conference numbers, I have it from 3 of the schools in the county. And yeah, I told them, and I may have emails from, because you all, do you all have your percentages of? Okay. So I'll give you who provided them today. Hillsborough had 81% of the parents and the students come to the parent-teacher conference. You all had asked for these numbers at the last meeting. Green Bank had 45% and Marlington Middle had 20%, but Mrs. Scotchy said that doesn't count for parents who may have had more than one child. So that percentage may be a little higher. And School Building Authority, we will receive notification by December 16th or around December 16th, whether or not we received the funding for that needs grant. Our number 1 priority in our presentation was connecting the main building to the CTE building. They wanted that was the one question. Mr. McCall was with us that afternoon as well. And a reminder to everybody about the safety forums, the public safety forums that are scheduled for tomorrow at the high school auditorium at 6:30.
Then the call you just got was me putting out a regular call.
I got that.
Yes, thank you. I was like, it's already calling off school week.
About the safety thing.
Okay. And then on Thursday at 6:30, we will meet here at the Wellness Center as well for the public safety forum. And I do want to read the list of the different agencies that will be attending. We'll start with the West Virginia Department of Education. Jonah Atkins, who's over safety at the department, will be here with us, and he's also bringing some other team members. Then Pocahontas County Schools will present, followed by Pocahontas County Homeland Security and Emergency Management, the Pocahontas County Sheriff's Department, Pocahontas Memorial Hospital, Department of Highways, and Marlington Fire Department. So that's the agenda for the night, and they will just be presenting the protocols and answering. We actually only heard from one community member with a question that actually we ended up making into 4 different questions, the way their comment or questions will. So I think that is my report for tonight.
Well, thank you, Ms. Fletcher.
And our 2 student members did email me just in the earlier this evening to say that they had basketball practice and photographs and things. So they were able to.
We'll
They're
jump,
very active students.
yeah, we'll jump across in. Lady Play Fair winners, Stephanie Burns, Federal Programs Coordinator, Instructional Coach. Stephanie?
Yes, this also, I mean, I think that the short certificates and this Brown's, maybe, not sure if you put photos.
We have them all together.
Don't.
Would you take it with my phone? Take them all together.
Sure. Okay. I'm here to share with you about the hard work and determination our students have put forth in the County Literature Fair. The Pocahontas County Literature Fair took place on October 14th at the Pocahontas County High School. Without the support of all the county staff, especially the high school staff, scrambling to set up enough tables for over 80-some projects, and the staff and the teachers that have supported the students completing their projects and motivating and supporting them through the process. And all the staff at each of the schools setting up their own individual fairs and our volunteer judges. So we've had a lot of volunteers in our community judge at each of the schools. And I just want to say thank you. We appreciate each and every one of you that have helped support the Pocahontas County Literature Fair. With hard work and determination, we had several students who not only placed first at our county literature fair, but also performed extremely well at the regional level. The regional literature fair was held October 19th at Glenville State University. And I'm honored today to recognize each and every one of them. First, I want to start by recognizing a student who earned first in our county fair. I'm not sure if he's here. He earned first place in our regional fair and was one of the few individuals selected as the best of show at the regional level.
And he was here earlier today during Marlington Elementary's local school improvement council meeting, because that's Mr. Woodrow. Right?
Yes. He represented our state at the West Virginia State Reading Conference at Ogilvie Park in William, West Virginia. And that was held November 22nd. So I first wanted to congratulate him, which did he share his project earlier?
He shared his project with us.
Wonderful.
And enjoyed the lights at Ogilvie. But he told us that he did a.
That's when we had really snowy weather.
Yes.
So that, thank you to the parents who drove him there. Then we had 2 class projects that placed to first at the county level and were able to move on to the regional level. And that was Miss Hardisty's class and Miss Harold's class. I'm going to quickly go down the list. I'm not sure if any of them are here. Miss Harold's class, Noah Alderman, Kenley Beveridge, Aramis Brown, Heather Collison, Chloe Curry, Leilani Fleming Thomas, Maisie Goldeisen, Darren Ryder, Colton Wilfong. Colton Wilfong's here. You can come on up.
I'm gonna put you right here. All right, do we want to get everybody here or?
She can take pictures as we go along and then from Miss Hardisty's class,
Oh,
Noah Altman, Kason Bennett. Wait a minute, that's the wrong class. Colton Armstrong, Cole Buzzard, Connor Hammonds, Michael Hefner, Grant McClure, Landon McMillian, Isaiah McNeil, Jericho Moore, Ella Pugh, Micah Scotty, Elliot Seldonridge, Kimberlyn Teeter, and Kane Taylor.
I'm Michael's half sister.
Would you like to take this? Sure. She'll be up here again in a little bit. Okay, Braxton Taylor also placed first at the county level. All right, Braxton. Isabella Nelson placed first at the county level and second at the regional level. Marcy Dilly, first at the county level, second at the regional level. Oliver Feather placed first at the county level, second at the regional level. And on to third and fifth grade. Third through fifth grade, we have Isabella Eilers and Alan Beveridge placed at the county level first, and then at third place at the regional level. Sarah Abbott, first at county level, third at regional level. Genevieve Guyette, first at county level. Paisley Sloan and Emma Pugh, first at county level, second at regional level. Sheldon Maitland, first at county level, second at regional level. Elida McNeil and Kendall Hummel, first at county level, first at regional level. Rufus Morgan, first at county level. Sullivan Seldonridge, first at county level, third at regional level. Titus Rittenhouse, first at county level. Jennifer Taylor, first at county level. Avery Smith and Cadence Carr, first at county level, second at regional level. Daisy Hefner, first at county level, and first at regional level. Garrett Bruce and Anthony Burdette, or AJ Burdette. And not only did he play first at county level, but he also placed at the Mount Hope International. Kaiser Calhoun, first at county level. Terrell Davis and Sadie Mason, first at county level, second at regional level.
Awesome.
Another one that runs in the family, Lane Wilson, first at county level. Trey Sattler and James Smith, first at county level and first at regional level. Zara Fanning, first at county level, first at regional level. Amelia Hicks and Kerrigan Hicks, first at county level, second at regional level. Madeline Rittenhouse, first at county level. Emma Anderson and Roxy Thompson, first at county level and first at regional level. Skylar Bernardine, first at county level, third at regional level. Chloe Annette and Julia Brown, first at county level. James Monaco and Ace Gregory, first at county level. Eli Beasley, first at county level and first at regional level. Cade Wagner, first at county level. And then we had one participant from high school, Nadia Kerr, first at county level and first at regional level. And I just want to thank the teachers who support them, because it does take a lot of time out of your class to support the students in completing these projects.
You want to bring everybody back up?
Well, whoever's here, some left, but yes.
Come on up, if you have the words, come on up, let's take a picture.
Yeah.
One, two, three, four. All right, guys, thank you.
Next item on the agenda is technology news. Christy Hammond, technology coordinator.
Just making sure you guys can see. So I asked Mrs. Bostic at the beginning of the year if I could sort of come quarterly and update you guys, somebody from the technology department. Just so you guys are kind of in the know of what's happening in our department. So this will be my second update. I did one in July. And some things I want to highlight that we've recently done in our department. Emery, you probably know, we ran Wi-Fi to the press box. We also turned on an athletic network in the evenings so that the athletes have Wi-Fi access for emergency purposes to let their parents know that they're leaving. We added some drops and switches at Greenbank. That's in the process right now. I think Mrs. Jordan talked about that at the Greenbank meeting, but in the middle school rooms, pipes are going to come out of the ceilings over tables. And there will be, say, 6 cords coming off of those. And in those middle school rooms, kids can plug in their tablets to those cords. That was about a $70,000 project. And Advantage Technology is doing that project for us. We installed a new lab at Greenbank. So the elementary side has 2 parts. We replaced half of that. We upgraded the bus garage computers throughout the county, installed interactive boards throughout the county, and we set up emergency Wi-Fi access for Greenbank. And I have a little piece here at the bottom. Jimmy Chaney and Gary Beveridge were instrumental in these projects. I'm not up here to take credit for these things. I just want you guys to know that they happened. Mr. Chaney did a lot of this work at Greenbank. He did the walkthrough for the drops. He installed the lab. Gary set up that emergency Wi-Fi access. So it really is a department effort. I'm just here to sort of get you guys in the know about things. Some upcoming projects. We're working on getting a digital signage board in the Greenbank cafeteria, similar to the ones that we have at the high school. They like those, so we're going to put one up there for them. We're working on getting Wi-Fi to the field house, just a little more coverage for emergencies and such, and additional switch replacement at MES and HES. And for those of you that don't know, switches are basically what pushes out our internet. So our internet comes to a switch, and then we have to plug in to get it out throughout the building. So it's imperative that we sort of keep those updated and ready to go. And some of our switches are aging out, so we're replacing those as we can. At the end of September, Mrs. Boston asked me to go to a county communicators meeting because I had gotten the chance to work with her on doing some website updates and Facebook updates and create an Instagram account. And she said, you know, I feel like you're really doing a lot of the communicator jobs. So I'd like for you to go and get this information. So I went and I learned what a role of communicator in a county is. And sort of it's their jobs, as you imagine, to communicate, to push out information. So Mrs. Bosick sat down with me and we sort of worked out a communication plan to beef up our communication for our families, for our staff. And these are some things that I want to update you on that we've done. We had 6 new pages to the website, and I'll show you those when we get to the next slide. We added electronic absence excuse notes that are live for each school. The schools love these so far. So a parent can go on our website and they click on a form that says Greenbank Elementary absence excuse, and they fill that out and it goes directly to the secretary. So no more lost notes in backpacks. No more parents that I don't want to take the time to write a note. You can go on the website, you can fill that out, and it goes to the principal, it goes to the secretary, and it also feeds into a spreadsheet. So we can sort of track that data and keep up with it. So that's went really well. Lynn mentioned before the substitute teacher campaign. So at the Greenbank LSIC meeting, they said, we feel like we need a push for that. And I thought, that's probably true. We probably haven't said for a while, we need subs. You can sub. So I went back to Canva and came up with some prototypes, and Lynn gave me the okay. We put the information out on Facebook, on our website, and then we actually have been publishing it in the paper with alternating ads. So like Mrs. Bostic said, we've had about 4 substitutes. For what it cost us for an ad in the paper, it's definitely worth that. 1 substitute is worth it.
Yeah.
So we've had good luck with that. We've been trying to do daily posts to social media, trying to focus on positive things. So if you look down here at the bottom, I have just a sample post for National Principals Month. So what we're trying to do is pick out those special days, special months, special occasions, and recognize people when we can, because our staff deserve that, our kids deserve that. So that's something that I've tried to focus on. Video content from coaches and educators. So some things that the public have said to me is that they want to see content from people that are educating the students. And Marcia Beveridge is a great example, a long-term educator, a fantastic teacher. And she's been doing these videos called Marcia's Math Minutes. And I don't know if you guys have seen them. They're on our website, they're on YouTube, they're on Facebook. They're great. They're just short math games that you can do with your kids. Really interesting. Other teachers have watched them and picked them up in their classroom. Parents are doing them. I've seen pictures of parents doing them at home. So great work from Marcia. And that was all her idea. She's just paired up with me to sort of get it pushed out there. And those have worked out really well. I also have taken a part in the Safe Schools Forum planning. Mrs. Bosick has graciously let me sort of participate in that. And
She gets taken large.
so, you know, that's hasn't been a small task between all of us orchestrating that. That's taken up a good bit of time, but I feel like we've done our best to push that information out there. The community knows it's happening. And hopefully we get good feedback. We get people to come, but I feel like we've done our part there to get that information out. Real quick, I want to show you some of the website pages. I just want you guys to sort of know what's out there, what's available, especially, you know, when a constituent asks, where do I find information? One of the first things that I want to show you that it's sort of new we're working on is an About Us page. So Mrs. Boston went to a superintendent's conference and came back and we talked about how public education isn't the only game in town anymore, unfortunately. So we have to sort of start selling ourselves, which we're not used to in public education. So we've sort of tried to start building a page where we're talking about Pocahontas County schools and the great things that we're doing, you know, Adventure Pocahontas and things like that. So that's sort of our About Us. It'll evolve, it'll get better, but that's where we're starting. we're pushing things happening in the county for when we're trying to recruit teachers in. Hey, these are the things that are happening here that you might be interested in. So that's the first page that we've sort of been working on. It'll get better. Attendance, Mrs. Shiflett can sort of speak to this. She and I worked together to make an attendance page. As you guys know, attendance policy blew up this year. And so we're trying to get the information out there. So we've designed an entire page for our website. It's all within the menu. You can go straight to and find information about that new attendance policy. And then about halfway down here, you can see those electronic excuse forms. They're also on the front of every single school's website. So if you just click on their webpage, it's right there. They're in the app. Those are all available. We have some links for tips for parents and more information for parents there. Nursing and health services, this is probably the newest page that we've done. Nurse Jenny was sort of looking for a way to get information out there that she needs to push out to parents. You know, that may not be, I need you to urgently know, but maybe you need to check and see how many days do my kid need to not have a fever before I can send them back to school. Now we have a page where you can find that information. We have documents about immunization, physical and dental exams, and resources and guides for parents there about health and resources. Preschool. This is our new preschool program page. Again, you're going to find a lot of forms and information here, contacts for the schools. Let's say you want to send your kid to preschool, but you don't have a birth certificate. We've put the link right there to how do I get my birth certificate online. So we're trying to make things as easy as possible for everybody. Safe schools. I don't know if you guys have seen this one. This has a ton of information on it just because Safe Schools is a big umbrella. But we start with the information about our Safe Schools Forum. And then we've added a ton of resources down here. It tells you about that CSend app. So if you have questions about how it works, it has FAQs so you can update yourself with the CSend information, bullying prevention, everything that's sort of Safe Schools oriented, we have added to this page. And then our last page, which is not new, but it has sort of evolved to become a really good page. I worked with Ollie Barkley to make this. She started with a document that she would go through when a substitute teacher called, and she would say, okay, go to this website and fill out this form. So now what we can do is we can say, go to the employment page and click on substitute teacher, and your steps are all right here. So at first it tells me my prerequisites, so I know if I qualify. And then down here, you have the exact link of where you need to go. So it's not just telling you, you can click and you can go to the next page where you need to be. Again, this was, based off of Ollie's idea, so I'm not going to take credit for that, but.
Especially because she's listening, because I have to tell you.
That's right.
Mrs. Barkley is actually at a personnel conference for the next few days. So that's why she's not with us tonight. She had to travel there.
So the next slide I want to show you is the previous 90 days of sort of when I slid into the communicator role and started, sending out more information, sending more communication. And that compares to the previous 90 days. So June to September, and then October to now. And I just want you to see what pushing out content can mean. So since we beefed up these positive communications, since we have more information coming out, we've reached 73% more people. So when folks say, I want to hear from the board office, this is how we're trying an avenue. This isn't the only avenue, but this is a great avenue. So we're reaching 73% more people than we did in the previous 90 days. So this is a great tool for us. It's going to continue to grow and build. At the beginning of the summer, our followers were about 570 on Facebook, and we're at 770. That's a huge jump considering that that page has been out there for a while. So we're getting more eyes on our page. And that's what we want. We're not a business. We're not trying to sell anything. We want to communicate better. So the more eyes on this page, the better. We're getting content interactions. We're getting link clicks. So that's what our goal is. That's what we're going to continue working towards. Some planned projects. We want to put surveys out there. We want to get feedbacks. We want staff feedback. We want family feedback. We want community feedback. If you guys as a board, if you want feedback from some sort of survey, please reach out to me. I'm happy to help. That's part of my role. Just tell me what you want on that. We'll create a form. We'll get your feedback. That's what we're trying to do. Want the information back too. Community engagement ideas, just so that we're talking back and forth, information that we want. One idea we have is, you can see our logo. It's so old that we don't have an original part. All we have is this broken, sort of pixelated logo. We'd love to see a redesign. We'd like to have our kids have a crack at it. We'd like to have the community have a crack at it, and sort of everybody vote about what's our new logo, what's bringing us into this century, and, you know, something new and fresh, and let our community decide and have a part in that. We'd like to establish an alumni network. That's really important. We want to, you know, get our alumni back in our schools, back to support us, back for our kids to see our successful alumni from Pocahontas County Schools. We want to expand our communication channels. Mrs. Boswick and I have talked about maybe an article that runs monthly or every other week. That's the superintendent's corner, you know, what's happening in our schools. Just so, like we talked about, we get the information out there. It's in a, you know, a different medium for maybe grand families that aren't on social media. We have another way to communicate. Same with a segment on Allegheny Mountain Radio. You know. Also, we're working with Mike O'Brien at the 911 call center to get emergency communication software installed on our staff computers, so that if there's an emergency at county level, they can release an alert. It takes over your computer and it pops up. So it's a quick alert. So we're working on that. Okay, Greenbank Wi-Fi. I have a handout for you guys that I'd like for you to review. Of course, don't have to review it tonight, but it's sort of a timeline of the things that we've done to try and get Wi-Fi back. And I sort of wanted to speak to that from a technology perspective. So some solution we have explored, Wi-Fi. Greenbank has this installed in their conference room. It does not work. It's not reliable. Jimmy Chaney and I went up there and met with them. It's not a reliable solution. It won't work for us.
PCSIT. So
That's us. So us and IT, these are things that we have tried. Added drops, that's happening right now. We're always adding drops. Here's the problem with an Ethernet drop. You plug a cord in. You go elsewhere and you plug that cord in. Plug it in, you plug it in, you plug it. That thing breaks down. It dies. It pulls out of the wall. They can only stand up so much. We have to have adapters on a lot of newer machines. They don't have Ethernet plugs in them. So we put out that expense for those adapters, and we have to replace them often because, again, they're not made for students plugging and unplugging all the time or traveling with those devices. So wired options really aren't great for us or our students. In your packet, there's a diagram that Greenbank came to us with a prototype at one point. It's on the back of the first page. And it was a point-to-point 60 gigahertz system. So what they imagine what's happened is we would put an access point on the wall, and then the teacher would have an access point here, but it will be connected to what we call a switch. So you plug it into a 10-port switch, and you still have to plug into this switch. So we're still plugging into things. We still have second graders with cords around their legs. So we said, we don't really think that option will work. And then on the next page, you'll see another diagram of another solution they offered, which was take that 60 gigahertz access point on the wall and plug a dongle into every single student's device, and it will wirelessly communicate. That's a fine idea, but that is not readily available technology. That is military grade technology that we as the public do not have access to. So I reached out to TensorCom when they suggested this. TensorCom is a 60 gigahertz company that works primarily with the military. And they said, sure, we'd be willing to do that for about $1.2 million. And what you have to imagine is, it's a narrow technology. So it's not like, if you have 10 of these things break that you can just turn around and put an Amazon order in, we would have to reach back out to TensorCom and say, can you build us 50 more of these? Because they're not going to make us 10. They might make us 500. So again, not a great option for us. I would like to propose some steps forward. What I would say to you is we really need to invite Green Bank admin, the Green Bank Observatory admin, to a board meeting. I sort of talked with Mrs. Bostic about this today. As admin, I feel like we have met with Green Bank Observatory admin a lot. And we try the solutions and we sort of chase our tail a bit. And I don't want to say anything out of place for the Green Bank Observatory. They're a great partner, a great community organization. I think they're important. But I also think we're sort of losing out with our students up there. So what I would like to see is if they would come to a meeting and we could ask, how can we get our kids standard Wi-Fi access at Green Bank? As a technology department, what we would suggest is a scheduled Wi-Fi network. We have the ability to set up a Wi-Fi network that we can turn on and off on a schedule every day. If we knew in advance, we're doing daylight observation next month on the 13th, we change the schedule. We don't have Wi-Fi that day. We've invested in the infrastructure as a backup to be able to plug in. That would be our preference from IT, is to give our kids standard Wi-Fi access. Of course, that's up to you as a board, how you would like to move forward. I'm certainly willing to work with you to try and find any solutions. But from an IT perspective, I feel like we have tried as much as we can try. We've given it our level best. And it's really starting to cost the school, not just dollars, but as far as achievement, in my opinion. Any questions about that? I gave you a pretty thorough timeline there. So, you can see when we've started, how often we met with them. If you have any questions about that, please let me know. Send me an email. I'm happy to answer that. But if you have anything right now, I'm certainly happy to answer.
I'm all for moving forward with the meeting. We have to do something. We live in a technology world and we can't have our students in Bucks County in the dark age.
I certainly feel like.
Somebody said they could put filters on their equipment.
So
We had a meeting with Mike. Brian.
Mike reached out to me and said, since they made that resolution, that public resolution, they have made some progress with talking to the observatory about their emergency management communications. So I feel pretty strongly that if this is something we want to move forward with, we should probably strike while the iron's hot.
Several counties in West Virginia and Virginia has voted to do away with the quiet zone.
Yeah.
The county commissions have.
Yes.
I don't know what effect that will have.
Right.
The actual quiet zone is legislature, like West Virginia.
Mhm.
And I did ask about a geofence, Mr. McCann, you had brought that up before. And Extreme told me, essentially, that's what we tested out when the Green Bank said, you're still blowing us out of the water, because we're in direct line of the, direct line of sight of that huge, why am I losing the word?
That satellite is everybody.
Satellite. Thank you. And I certainly don't want to be aggressive. I understand, like I said, they're an important partner. From IT's perspective, I feel obligated to give you that information.
Well, the only other option is to move the school. Because if anyone had had foresight that technology be where it is, they would never build a school beside the observatory. The observatory, I think the observatory is built by the school, but vice versa.
Yeah.
And we obviously don't have the money to build a new school unless the National Science Foundation wants to fund it.
Yeah.
For that to happen more.
And I will say, technology is certainly evolving till it becomes harder and harder to use that wired solution. As Wi-Fi becomes more advanced, we lose Ethernet plugs on things like printers. We now have to invest in a secondary device to plug in printers up there so they can network them. So anyway, that's the bit about Green Bank Wi-Fi. Again, if you have any questions about that, just let me know. Any questions about anything else in the presentation?
Got a question?
Yeah, Mike O'Brien pointed out that there are other radio observatories throughout the country, and they all have filters on their equipment. So we're the only one with no filters on equipment, which requires a quiet zone.
I think
And
that's fantastic
supposedly that
information
doesn't
to have.
involve putting filters is not a tremendously expensive thing. So that might be something that you can talk to them about.
If we
Definitely
meet with
appreciate
them,
that information.
Then we would know.
Yes.
We need to meet
Yes.
with them. So,
That's
Mr. Vulcan, will you contact him and try to get him here to the next board meeting?
And our department will be here,
Sure.
myself, I will ask Mr. Beveridge and Mr. Cheney to come, but from our perspective, we can answer any questions about that. Anything else that you guys?
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
All right. Pocahontas County High School Review High School Leadership Team and Administration.
We're not gonna plug anything.
Okay. Going to try to adjust this so I can look at my notes.
That's good, because I need this, put this meeting on.
They assured me I can adjust that.
So it was our intent tonight to update the board members of what the high school has been facing during and after the state's investigation into our comprehensive counseling plan, scheduling process, and transcripts, and to make a few requests for supports. West Virginia Department of Education worked with the leadership team on November 12th and November 13th with a focus on senior transcripts. 51 out of 79 senior transcripts need corrections on a wide range of issues, including duplicate courses, inappropriate naming conventions, incorrect courses transcribed, applying weights to some courses from the past in which weights were not applied, and awarding credit recovery that was overlooked. All grade levels will undergo transcript corrections after the seniors are corrected. However, there is good news. The good news is that these issues can be corrected and done so fairly quickly with the right personnel. But time is of the essence here. We receive transcript requests daily from colleges and are about to undergo the selection of National Honor Society students. We want to send the transcripts with 100% validity, knowing that they are correct. West Virginia Department of Education outlined what needs to be changed on the transcripts. We will request training from WEVIS in order to properly correct the transcripts on their platform. Principals do not transcribe. West Virginia Department of Education notes this is not something any principal in the state does, yet it will be accepted and expected of the PCHS admin. Per the State Department, transcripts are not to be corrected until our school's investigation is presented before the State Board of Education meeting on December 11th. The findings will need to be conveyed to students and to families by the central office. We are requesting immediate help in the form of support from central office staff. We are requesting a contracted high school counselor position to be created in order to fix the senior transcripts issues and to train our dean of students who will take the lead and correct the 10th through 12th grade, 10th through 11th grade transcripts. Additionally, we are requesting support from central office. Our special education director has done an outstanding job of supporting our special educators and admin. She has worked with and hired various consultants throughout the year. Most impressively, hiring a transition consult who meets with educators and admin on a weekly as-need drop-in basis. The support our special education director has provided is timely and ongoing. We have conferences and trainings scheduled throughout the entire year. This is the type of support the high school is requesting. We need focused and ongoing support for scheduling, PEP plans, and support for our dean of students and admins. Does the leadership team have anything to add?
May I add that I did hear from the State Department and they, from Jeff Kelly, I believe it was on Monday, and the board meeting that they provide the information about our audit will be done in January instead of December.
That's not good news for our students.
That's not good.
Yeah. and
We still don't have dean of students, do we?
It hasn't been
Well,
posted. It hasn't been posted.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We don't have the people to do it unless we move or change some people around, which I'm all for, to get what we need done. But I come back to, who did all this? Who's gonna be held accountable? That's my thing.
What's going to come out in January.
The State Department will share that in their investigations, but I just want to let you know, it did not originate from the teaching staff. That's not their area.
What options?
Transcriptions, transcribing.
We have two counselors in the county, right?
Are they certified school counselors or? are they
Yes,
counselors?
and we actually contacted Mrs.
Missy Dawson.
Thank you. Who helped out with one situation that the high school had, but yes, we do have both of them. They have not been, to my knowledge, a high school counselor, which just has a different role, I should
We
say.
really do need a high school counselor, someone to come in and fix these senior transcripts and to provide training to our dean of students, because our dean of students can do this, but we need the proper training.
Like years ago, we talked about sending Miss Dawson to the high school. And I thought she would have been wonderful. Because she gets a good relationship with the students. Could we give her there part-time, like one day a week to train our dean of students?
That was my question. What, if we put both of them, and put them both there, can they change the transcript and fix the transcript for the other kids that we're on this crunch timeline with? Can we get them to?
They need to be, they do schedules, like they work with the master schedule. It's a little bit different with transcribing, but with a proper instruction. It's not brain science for them. It's just they need to be trained to do it properly. It's very important that the keystrokes are correct. Documentation is the key for this because they are changing the transcripts and it has to be documented. You have your before, you have your documentation that this is going to be changed, what it's changed, your documentation that it's done, you've got signatures that go with it. So that's important that all that takes place and put in the permanent record state.
How long is this training? How long just, if we could find somebody to do the training, is the training available?
It's going to take a couple of days. It's something that they're going to have to get into and do it. And then
We're
they'll
not
have
looking
questions.
to turn down.
No, it's not going to take them any super lengthy amount of time. It's just unfortunately that
This is something we need to get on fast. I'm not.
I'm trying to fix it, trying to get it fixed as fast as we can.
Because these transcripts.
Gets me high, honestly.
Yeah, well, we have transcripts that need to be fixed.
Do we have anybody at these other schools that know how to do that?
Is anybody trained in?
That's what I'm saying. Is anybody already trained that we've got at Greenbank, Martington Elementary, Martington Middle, that we could send to the high school to get this updated quickly? Do we have somebody in the board office that knows how to do it?
Can we give our two guidance counselors 2 days training, 3 days training and send them there to do it?
Well, let me ask Jason Long if how to approach
It's not their position.
I think so. We can't send it there.
We can't just send them, but we can ask, we can. You're gonna get more of an ask and you do a. So we need that, you need to ask if they would be willing to do it. And, you know, like I say, do we have anybody in the county board office or anywhere else that would know how to do these things correctly? Because this is something we're gonna have to get up on.
Okay.
Yeah, and one other comment we had discussed earlier is there's, as parents and grandparents are starting to find out, we're starting to get feedback and it's pretty angry feedback.
Don't
And
blame.
it's something we need to get in front of
Right.
because
The other
they
thing
feel
we
the
that
high school
state,
has betrayed them.
So I guess does the state have any?
if we get the State
That's
Department and
what-
say, we don't have no one,
We've had
you have to do something. You found it. You've got to help us fix it. Should have
I mean, even
someone in the office down there.
I posed the question, do you ever come in and fix things? And I was told the State Department does not come in and fix things. We train people how to fix their own mistakes.
But-
We don't have a counselor. We don't have a dean of students.
We've got nobody to train.
I mean, they're.
Being for, I know that Ms. Bostic has contacted some people, but maybe Pendleton County or somebody like this person that Ms. Tritipo has contracted that is working with special ed with all the transition stuff. She was a former director. She is retired. And, you know, she's willing to do that. But that's what we're asking for. And now that we're hearing January, before we can even make any changes.
And that's the accountability step
Yeah.
that they, and I did talk to a retired counselor from Fayette County that their superintendent thought may be interested in helping us. And she said, I'm 70-some years old. I'm doing mentoring in Fayette County. They have a lot of new counselors, which is what I'm finding when I contact various counties. I said, do you have a high school counselor that can help us out? And they said, you know, they don't have counselors. There are a lot of openings in the state of West Virginia right now for counselors. The counselor, retired counselor I talked to in Fayette County said that she works with a professor from Marshall in a counseling degree. And she's like, I'm going to reach out to her to see if there's any students or if she knows of anyone. So we've got fillers out all over. The West Virginia Association of School Administrators, I put it out to them saying, hey guys, I need help. We need somebody to contract with, please send me.
Are you talking about the counseling aspect of it or the transfer? Because that's
It's a different thing.
But we need somebody who's certified to do that.
right.
And what we're asking is for a position to be created, a contractor counselor who will come in and fix our transcriptions, transcriptions, and also provide training to our dean of students.
We started to it.
This was brought up.
Can we find-
Have been trying to find.
I'm gonna create that
We can't
position.
find anybody.
And I mean, if you can find someone,
Yeah.
we can literally hire him tomorrow and
Yes,
approve it at the next board meeting.
Absolutely.
Right.
What if we
But
found
fine.
someone locally today at Greenbrier East?
Searching,
A counselor.
begging, pleading.
I think there's another issue here though, besides just hiring a counselor, and that is we can't keep kicking the transcript thing down the road. We're gonna have to get somebody trained,
Yeah.
like you're saying, and get on this way before maybe there's even a counselor position or something in there. If Ms. Hill and whoever be willing to do that, I think that is what we need to be looking at first, is how we're gonna get these transcripts corrected and that training that you're talking about. And
We're
we
gonna-
need.
It's gonna take some time to fill it.
It is.
We're sending
We've already
requests
been,
from seniors
2 months.
every day to send in colleges to send their transcripts, and we're terrified to send what we have.
Let me ask this question. Can we
Yeah,
contract with
but not-
Phil for the training and to?
We just want to make sure they're right.
I mean, can't we contract her extra to do that
I'm
besides?
looking at Sherry, because that would have to be after hours, right?
It would have to be after hours. It would be a contract position at that point.
But even if we get somebody and get them trained, it sounds like they can't do anything till January.
Well, now it sounds like that because we were told that we should not touch the transcripts until the state board meeting. And now we hear it's been pushed to January.
So
but
The last we heard was December was the
They
date.
do what they said.
Next
Was
week.
Either way, we need, gotta get, if it's now or then, we gotta get somebody trained.
we can we contract with her to do that or ask her if she's interested or Mrs. Henderson or to give them the training?
Or does it have to be a counselor to get the training and fix the problem? Or can it be an educational person, can be a teacher or,
I'm not sure. We were told that counselors do this type of thing.
the counselors do it, but in this situation, could you train
Like that's
maybe a
question
retired
for
teacher,
state
someone that
Always do data entry.
What was that?
Counselors don't always do the data entry. At some schools, they have a clerical, usually it's a secretary type position that does the data entry. For example, at Greenbrier East, they have 4 counselors, but they also have a clerk that does the data entry. That's Sherry's job.
So what you're telling us, Mr. Dilly could do the data entry
Yes,
if he was trained.
yes, trained correct.
I'm just using.
Yes.
I'm really gonna put Miss Poppy on to minute. But we could train, we could send one of our teachers or have them to come and train a teacher to do
It
this.
could be a teacher, it could be a secretary. The important thing is the language and understanding the code. Course codes have to be used and course titles that are aligned with the policy. That's that they're using properly. We have to consider in there, they're just not named. And that's what we.
But it's not just the extra
Yeah,
money.
be a secretary,
It's
be a
the
service person.
documentation, the fact.
They was trained.
Wasn't some penis positions that you all approved. If we get that posted, I mean, maybe that's fine. You could train.
Well, let's get back to the art of this. Could Cindy do this if she was trained?
Yes, you should be able to, yes.
But I thought that that's what Derek and Lauren were training you all to do those 2 days.
No.
Okay.
If you
They're
were
telling us that
the liability for us.
We were identifying the problems.
Yeah.
And trying to fix the problems just in the schedule. We were not being trained on how to transcribe.
Okay.
And a lot of these problems can be fixed fairly easily, but it has to be done by the right person.
Okay,
Where we're
do
at.
we have a substitute secretary out there that we could train to be able to do this?
I'm going to contact with the State Department and see exactly.
Yeah.
Sure.
Make
Yeah.
Make sure they can do that. Okay, if they can't, would you contact Mrs. Phelps or Mrs. Hill now, or Mrs. Henderson? And
Yes.
what did you say, Sherry, about if we do a contract position of an employee?
All positions have to be posted before we can hire if it's a person on our payroll.
I'd say we ask her
If it's
what,
a
nice.
independent company,
See if she will
you can do.
volunteer to go up there.
there's no need.
You're not part of the contract.
If not,
No, she don't do it.
Do we have posted contract position?
Well, I mean, can we, in the meantime, Mrs. Rose, can you find the administrators of these colleges that want the transcripts and call them and say, we're having some problems with our data, but we'll get back to you. We'll get you something soon. Can you do that? Somebody from our office call these people and
I don't know. They're applying for scholarships now and we need to provide them with transcripts.
And you're talking potentially, depending on how many schools students apply for, many dozens more,
And I know if that was.
hundreds of schools.
My child didn't get scholarship, but the transcript.
this one right here is Glenville.
Somebody.
It's right here.
Yeah.
She needs a, she's going to Glenville.
Okay,
I mean,
go.
if you, officially, can you do that? Give permission for us to go ahead and hire as we need? Or fill the position or create a position and post?
Yeah, we can do that.
That's
That's up to,
not part of your agenda items.
we can give Mrs. Baltic, we can just.
But it's not on the agenda. It's not on the agenda.
No, but it's not on the agenda, so can we do it legally?
No.
okay, so what we need is,
Illegal.
No, we can't.
do you need a motion? Okay, so I make a motion that we put this, I make a motion, we put this on the next agenda, please. As
Have
a,
an emergency meeting.
Yeah.
And have the,
Emergency.
that's the proper way to do it.
Yeah.
You have to call for an emergency meeting. It's gotta be posted 3 days before.
all right, I make a motion that we call for an emergency meeting and to discuss the creation of this new position we're looking at. Right? What are we looking for here, Ms. Popey?
A data entry
A
person.
data entry person?
You need Poppy, me?
Yeah.
Yes. Need somebody to transcribe.
Ms. Schiffel said, yeah, okay, all right.
This seems
Yeah.
a bigger problem than data entry, though.
It's a-
You know,
Yeah.
it's
We're trying-
describing it the right
I
way.
know, we're trying to get,
Yeah.
if we could get somebody that's.
Data entry and.
That entry is what you need to fix.
We can get-
But that's not.
And
gonna
transcripts.
Well, not whoever you get, when you can know what it is.
I think you have to address what the community is starting to feel too. This isn't just about data.
But we need a plan in place.
This is about their errors, their mistakes on these transcripts.
Right.
And this is not just a data thing. These are students they're lacking classes. They don't have the correct classes. They're wanting to go to college, and do they have the right classes to go to college? Can they graduate? I mean, are there juniors that?
Discussed this week.
Yeah. so-
We've been through that.
We've been through that work time and time again. I
We
still
know
think
the
we need,
problem.
the
We know
State
what
Department
needs
needs to
to
come
be
and tell us,
The State
this is what
Department
you need to do.
told us.
Because it seems to me that no one knows what we need to do exactly, or what the person needs to be starting.
What?
Ms. Campbell, what were you saying?
But the State Department went through every single one of those senior transcripts. So that's what we're talking about right now, is there are seniors that it needs to be fixed on paper.
The time's run now.
And we
Yes.
have requests, and we need somebody to be able to sit with us and say, here's the document, all the things that Ms. Shiplet just laid out. We need someone that knows how to do it to just sit with us and do it.
We agree 110% with you. We don't have.
I mean, you might have.
We can find, I mean. if
So
we
we
can find
came
them, we can
tonight to tell you how dire this is, because we can't wait
With Bruce.
a month.
Would we do it though?
Yeah, this is a real emergency. I mean,
The state.
We've been dealing with
the
this
state-
long.
Yeah.
Huh?
Do it
Yeah, they-
until you get their report.
But can we?
Well, that.
We want to be
that could have
proactive.
changed Since they changed the date.
We do.
Yeah, like now they may let us. fix
They
it.
said it'd be better, if you just wait till December 10th, but also
December 10th is.
they're making recommendations without
Once you get into
these
January, the
students
last
asking us for
semester,
transcript.
you know, you're in the last half. Would Miss Bland know how to do any of this?
Potentially.
Huh?
That was our previous contact. before
Yeah.
Mrs. Shipman. So she certainly knows something about this.
We could contact her and ask her if she would be willing to come in and work at it. She might know how.
I think that would be a great choice. Yeah.
If she's qualified or whatever, we gotta make sure she's qualified.
I mean,
And we
it's
can-
not-
She did any training, but she's certainly qualified. She's done it.
Then we'd have to post the job, right, Sherry? And we'd have to.
Well, if we contract, if we don't contract, we don't have to post it.
We can contract this position with her. We don't have to post. You don't have to.
Because
post.
she's not involved in the vendor.
She's not employed.
If it's in contract.
Is she on here? She is.
She will employ.
She is a substitute admin,
Yeah.
She's substitute administrator. We'll just add that to her duties.
so we could use.
We can use her as a substitute administrator.
She's administrator. No, we can use her for that. She's already hired. Miss Baltic, will you contact her? I'm gonna read her at Pocahontas County High School. Tomorrow.
Not her degree, so I'm not sure that would work.
Huh?
That is not her degree.
She would probably be more qualified than most people out there were going to get.
She understands.
Yeah, I agree.
We need to get clarification. And
Yeah.
then we can know. for sure.
She usually.
Not gonna take this.
Yeah, we need something in writing from the state that whatever we're gonna do is the right thing to do, so that they don't come back and say,
Yeah, I think you're just a mistake.
it's your mistakes.
here's what I was told this evening when I was talking to everybody about an executive session, if I can get one. We cannot discuss this as a board till after it comes out on the state website. I mean, we can't about the administrative stuff like that, but we can't the audit until it comes out on the state website.
And at this point, I don't know anything, any.
No, well, I mean, they looked at the state website to see if it was out and said, no, it's not out, so y'all can't discuss it after that audit comes out.
Until
January.
the board meeting.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they told me. So I really was trying to find a way to.
For us, the problem is we've got to get these transcripts fixed ASAP.
Yes, so, I think Ms. Blaine would be our best option. If she, a former administrator, we've already got her on payroll anyway, and this would be part of the administrative. She might have to do the training. Well, she wouldn't know how to do the transcripts, I don't think.
But it's similar to what she had.
If she's willing to do it.
Yeah, she picked up, with
If she's willing to do it.
well, she's already on payroll.
Yeah, that doesn't mean she's willing to do it.
We're gonna fix this part of the job.
And then secondary,
Yeah, she bring
Does it still need to go on next,
not if she's already employed.
doesn't need to go on the agenda
Well,
for next week?
We need to know though, whether she will accept the position or not and do this. So Mrs. Baltic's gonna have to contact us as board members and say yes or no. If she don't, then we're gonna have to schedule something else because it needs to be done.
Yeah.
And we can't do anything tonight because it's not on the agenda and because of all the flaws and everything that dictate the agenda. But if she's already on the, as a sub administrator, then we don't have to go through the hiring process.
And we understand y'all's frustration, because we're hearing the same thing, and I am, I'm for the rest of them are, from parents out here and say, well, I told you that 10 years ago. That you got that. It's not like we're ignoring you, but there is some things we can't talk about.
Everything you all said, we've already, we just can't fix, we can't find somebody to do it.
secondary to this conversation about transcripts, we are also requesting more support from central office, much like special education has offered their teachers and admin. So we would like to work with central office and come up with an ongoing plan of support so we can be trained in the online scheduling system and PEP plans. Because we were to use the online scheduling system and that really starts in January. And we have yet to be trained on that.
And PEP plans was a thing the state brought up and said that we all needed to be trained on Beavis, PEP plans, all that.
With the whole staff,
With the
that's
whole
not
staff.
just as.
Right, and that's something we need to get on. I mean, I know it only seems like we're halfway through the year, but we're getting into crunch time already of having to start getting ready for next year.
I think we schedule continuing ed days throughout the year. We have continuing ed day at high school coming up. Anything?
Calendar to see what.
February.
So when Derek and Lauren were here,
We have to do everything.
we had the State Department come and sub. They went over policy 2510 with them. Actually, they also talked about the PEP plan.
That was very, that was great.
I need to add that on Derek's list.
Well, we need, the whole staff needs to train.
We could set up, how many days would it take to train you? One day?
It's the whole staff.
I know.
So you
Know what you're
could
saying.
do- I mean, that depends on what their training looks like. I would assume you could yet be.
But you can't do that today. There's students there.
She's gonna check on dates if we can do it, they can do it virtually.
Yeah, we would like to do PEP plan training and online scheduling.
It would have to be during one of our PL days or whatever, or something like that.
So what they did when they spent a day with training on policies and various the transcripts and different things, they actually brought people in from the State Department and also local community, like community health and some of those agencies came in and subbed for teachers while they were in the meeting. So I don't know if they would be willing to do that again. Because we don't have enough substitutes to cover everybody.
people. We need people that want to work.
And there's no way we can live here. But
Yeah, that's what I do, have an auditorium.
Is training coming done in the day? And shut that high school down.
Yeah.
For the day.
But can we do that?
Oh, yeah, we can really do it.
I learned about that last year, or something else, and they told me no. And actually, the state superintendent.
Maybe our people break
Well,
it.
the superintendent.
We can find it.
Turn your heat on.
It was pretty much all that. Like, so we don't turn on. We don't turn on. Wait.
It's already couple.
Yeah, I need to come to one of them.
Anyway,
Final thoughts? Anyone?
No, but I will say with that transcribing that, I know Ms. Shipley just went through the process and sounds like she understands it more too, that like nobody's ever really laid out that process in writing or given us the proper documentation. Lauren sent us a document that she made that did not.
That's what I thought.
That
Because
is
long.
your talk, but that was just the transcript review. But the actual documentation, you say, like, we have to have the correct documentation, we can change it, right?
What I'm saying is,
Okay.
so before you change anything, it's a record, it's a absolute record. You print off what's in there, okay? And then you document, when I say that, you write out what you're doing. Okay, so say, for example, that I had a C on my transcript, but it actually should have been a B for first semester. So, and it wasn't discovered until after the transcripts were run, report cards went out, so it's on there. So then we have, print that off, okay? We document it was discovered, we recalculated the grades, and it's true that the grade should have been a B. On this date, I went in, I changed the grade to a B, and then there's a process you have to go to, which I cannot remember what it's called because I've never done it. But you have to like delete the transcript part and then run it again. And then it calculates the grade again. And it should reflect the correct grade. You say this was done, the correct grade was put in the system and upgraded correctly. And it is correct at this point on the transcript. And then you print the grade again and you put all of that documentation in the file.
And I've heard Lauren and Derek talk about that. And then you
About
have
that process in writing.
Yes, and that would be, I mean, that's, Lauren should have been able to provide.
No, she said she doesn't actually know those steps, that we would need to get in touch with Weebus.
So, like to actually change it
To
physically.
physically change it,
She did have a form that she made, but she said this is not a State Department form. It's something I created and I use. So as long as we have the process in steps, then that form may be sufficient, but we need someone to tell us, here's that process that would be okay. Nobody's putting their license on the line because somebody said we could do it. That's the problem. We're not
No, you need
like,
to check and make sure.
I'd fix them tomorrow, but I'm not gonna put that in that. Put all of us and the students in that position
Absolutely.
for it to be incorrect. And it's not grades so much. There are a few of those in underclassmen that need to be changed. A couple seniors, but it's the names of courses that don't line up. So they took the right course. That's just not what it says on their transcript. So it's
But how do you know they took the right course?
because the teacher said, this was, I told, this was wrong in the schedule, but they took this is the course, these are the standards I use. And
Because
there's
I knew
people,
that they had found the course names were also incorrect in codes.
right, the teachers knew what courses they provided and standards that they use.
But do the teachers have documentation to back that up?
Yes.
Because
So is
can't
this
change
like,
transcript, just
are we
like-
taking like a few transcripts for like the whole senior class now?
I gave you the number.
List requires attention,
Like 70.
It's like most of them?
Yes, and that's just the seniors. Yes, we haven't even started with the underclass.
51 out of 79 senior transcripts require some sort of correction. 51 out of 79.
2/3.
You don't need more than one person to get that done.
The most alarming thing about the changes, several students repeated the same course twice. And you cannot graduate
You'll have
with the
a credit.
same credits. So we have to remove one of the credits, which will change the ranking in the GPA.
And whether they graduated or not.
I gotta ask this question. Did it take to the same teacher
Sometimes, yes.
and nobody realized they had it last semester or last year
Teachers didn't realize I bet these kids repeating my class.
and they passed?
I'm not sure they
A lot of
knew
them
that
are
was a thing we shouldn't do.
Or not.
Hmm?
I'm not sure they knew better. Some of them.
Teachers knew a student was sitting in their room a second or possibly.
Absolutely.
But
When you're told you.
But you, when you, yeah, when you take the class, I don't know if anyone realized they couldn't get more credit than just one time.
They assumed that the students assumed that they just get credit.
Cause you take band 4 times.
I guarantee-
Yes.
And
I
you
guarantee
take.
you the students,
And you can take art
I guarantee you.
and Spanish.
Even if they're- I did too.
But they're never,
Anybody take math?
they're not.
Something wrong
I
with
bet they didn't take math for them.
No, it was not math.
If I had to take it twice as much, I had to. take
They
it.
did an example of
Okay,
my.
round the circle. Ms. Baltic, will you check with Ms. Bland and see if she would be more willing to go through the training and get this neat?
Yes, first I'm gonna talk to the State Department, who we've been working with. to make-
Absolutely.
You know.
If not, can they send somebody to do it? Because we gotta get it done. And keep the board informed on what's going on. We can help you any way we can.
Thank you.
And
But we're not sure we can.
we'll find them.
Without,
But let's put it this way, we will support you.
Okay, one of you all.
Well, support is easy, you said you done a nice job, take it back. But whenever I say that, we will support you any way we can to get this problem solved.
Looking into the contractor position and coming up with a plan of support that's ongoing throughout the year would be the most help to us, and also helping them communicate to the parents. Because that's not our job, that would be central office job to somehow communicate this.
There's gonna be a lot of feedback.
We know.
You got, you got another page?
I see you out there.
Yeah.
but honestly, I mean, well, we can't do anything, but once the state board meets, we need to do a
Then we have
a blanket statement to the county as to what is actually going on. It's not like everyone doesn't know what's going on, but we need to do something.
There was one thing I wanted to say about training when you were talking about it. I didn't start in education. I came from private industry. So training is approached slightly different than it is here in the education system. This is going to take a lot of training. I've been at the high school since 2006. I've never seen a PET plan. This isn't something I don't think the majority of us are going to be able to learn in an hour or two. I mean, this is going to be extensive ongoing training for a lot of the stuff we're being asked to do now that we had never been asked to do before. So I just want to throw that out that we're not just talking about maybe one day in February. We're going to need some help and it's going to take time.
And moving forward, we want to do it absolutely 100% correct.
It
That's
has to be done
why.
correct.
That'll be just great.
We don't want to make these mistakes again.
Well, and we will say the State Department said there are a lot of high schools in the state who are,
Yeah.
they are finding out all these things based
Not
on
happening
changes
this
in
year.
policy. So we're not the only one,
I know who the worst.
but like, oops.
Here's the thing, they're saying, we don't want to be on that list.
No.
So we're gonna get this correct, okay?
To like you know, most of the students who are going to college so far, the transcripts have been that we've had to send out, but we don't know what we don't know. And every time we talk to the State Department, we're finding out something else that
They are.
we shouldn't have said part A and part B, and we shouldn't have said 1 and 2, and like, just, it's simple things, but we can't physically fix it. Because we don't know how.
Yeah,
To
sure.
change it in the system
That's true.
and make sure we have proper
We'll
documentation.
check and find out what we can do and keep us informed.
And we are talking to every parent that we mess with their kid's schedule and calling them personally and having these conversations. It's not secret, it's just, we can't keep up with the number of people we need to be talking to.
Well, I wonder if we could talk to some of the other schools that's having this problem. It might be worthwhile to talk to some of their administrators and say,
Like the school.
what are you doing? How are you correcting this? Who are you using? Because, I mean, finding someone.
Mr. Lambert actually mentioned creating a cohort. I don't know if it's gonna happen this year, but next year, of struggling schools, getting them all together and doing ongoing training with the schools
It would be.
who are all facing the same problems. So they can all learn and grow and develop together.
Because who's going to do this training? if No one knows how to do it.
Sorry. Very good question.
Oh.
That's why we're here.
We can't even find your social studies teacher.
Hey, our sub is doing great. The sub is great.
She just earned her master's degree.
Yes.
Just got her
We're
master's.
trying,
So why is she not applying for the job?
thinking about it.
Maybe because. That's not an easy question to answer.
Okay, let's move it along. So, anybody got anything else you want to add?
Would you all want on the agenda for the next meeting now?
Yeah.
You still do?
I guess we'll likely have.
I think we need to stay in constant
We
update.
want to update.
Guys,
I think that's what Sammy was getting at.
Yeah,
a while
yeah.
ago.
Put them on the agenda
I
for the
think
next
make sure we
meeting.
put them on next week's agenda, please.
As an informational report.
All right.
Yes.
Next tonight.
Next.
Next
board
one.
meeting.
The next board meeting.
17.
You don't need an executive.
Right.
No.
I can't get them on there for that reason. I
I
tried.
think you got took care of it.
I got about 4 emails now, Justin, from the state telling me like.
Yeah, they're probably on there. Yeah.
Really much.
We should
Y'all need.
be pretty sure that they'll watch this meeting.
Oh, they're watching it.
Yeah, and I do have that policy, Emery, so, we looked at it and we just could not. Because the last time it was updated at the state level was like August. And it really doesn't clarify, it just says.
But we really go to Jim Brown.
Yeah.
Just like I go to Jason Long, Wall. I mean, it's.
We went over each one listed to try to find some. And then whenever I brought up about the state, he said, well, you can't do that anymore after the audit comes out. So that's on the state website where y'all can, we know that.
We probably actually have more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we've got to help these people find, to do all we can to help,
Yeah.
solve the problem.
And we will.
Thanks.
But you'll be on the agenda for the next one. And we want to see y'all at high school tomorrow night. 6:30.
Where you got them for?
That's my bedtime.
I keep trying to get up and.
Safety is a concern. Okay. Let's go down and drop into financials. Thank you all very much. Thank you for coming. Financial approval of the following financial requirement. Payment of vendor listing, $246,177.72. Payment, local government purchasing card of $109,2847. November 6, 2024 employee payroll, $295,783.30. November 19, 2024 employee payroll, $293,944.91. Bank reconciliation for the month of August 24th. Bank reconciliation for September 24th grant awards and budget adjustments. Do I have a motion? So moved. Mr. McCollum made the motion. Do I have a second? Ms. Hollingsworth seconded. Any questions or
No, sir.
all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Okay, miscellaneous.
Wait a minute. This is
Okay.
where I wanted to give you this paper.
Okay,
For our state aid support on 1,400 students,
Mhm.
this is what we get, what we received in 23, 24, and 25. At the white line. That's the amount you're seeing.
the 11,000.
Yeah, for
11 million.
25, it's 11 million, yes.
Yeah, okay.
So we have 897 students in our 25 roll. If we based our state aid on that formula, we'd be getting 7.4 million. You see what the difference is?
Yes.
4.18. That's what we're getting in state aid difference in 1,400. It is at the state level right now, talking about moving that 1,400. And they've been talking about it for several years. Our Pendleton County treasurer and superintendent in October went to the state and talked to them. And their presentation is online, and you can, if you plug that link in, which I'm gonna email it to you all when I get home tonight. So you can hit the link and watch that presentation. It's probably about an hour long. It's 50 PowerPoint slide presentation. But it talks about the formula and how it's been developed over the years and how it could affect us if we lose it. We have 5 schools. If we get dropped even to 1,200, and that's what I'm looking at, because the numbers right now in our state aid, there are 22 counties that they're funding at the 1,400 level. 22 counties out of 55.
But yeah, they just added a bunch of counties.
Well, and I have not got the numbers for our new 25, 26 year. So just to be cognizant of our state aid and what it could be, that's 29 people in professional. We will not have if that we have to go from 1,400 to 897. And I think I looked at, and it wasn't even that year, it would have been 23 years when I was looking at that number. So when we're looking at funding slots, we need to think about what, I know they're not going to change it for this coming year, but in our future, I'm afraid that that's going to happen because they're giving our money to charter schools. Over $7 million in this past year went to charter schools. They're taking our SBA funds. They're not supporting our public schools. So I just wanted to throw that out so you can see those numbers. What our state aid formula, which Senator Helmy was key in getting that number for us.
Him and the Pendleton County.
Yeah.
Representatives at that time.
Yeah, and so Pendleton County is fighting for us now. And I had told JP Mallory, which he's the treasurer, you know, if he went back, we as a county need to go with him to represent our county.
And Tucker.
And there's 22 counties in that same boat now. When I started, I think we were 11 counties. So it's increased in 12 years to 22. There's like 10 more, 12 more that are in low. I think there's only like 9 counties that have a population base that are high.
The original deal was the reason they paid us for the 1,400 students because we picked up less students per square mile.
Yeah.
And that was us in Pendleton County, and they was 7 when they initially started. And then it went from 7 to 11, and now you're saying 22, which is getting close to half the counties in the state of West Virginia.
But this is scary if we have to lose $4 million.
Yeah.
And the more counties goes off list, the bigger chance we have to lose.
Oh, you do.
When there were 7 of us, I didn't think it was a problem because it would look like it's picking on the little guy.
Even if it's
Politically correct.
it's 1,200, it could be. I mean, I'm thinking, you know, well, maybe they'll drop it to 1,200, but that's still going to affect almost the whole 22 counties
Yeah, well,
because we're all.
you're gonna see counties going to red. You'll see counties.
You're going to see that.
Voted on this. They voted this legislation in. This is a voted on thing.
I will send you the link tonight if you want to watch it. And then I will be at the December 17th meeting because I have a conference that I have to be. So in January, we can discuss it. Or if you have questions, you can call me or email me. I'm happy to answer.
Any other questions? We didn't vote.
Okay.
Okay. Approval for Teresa Mullins Lambert to take 4 Pocahontas County High School students to the Green Bar Hotel, Whitehall Springs, West Virginia, to participate in the annual Hospitality University on January 28, 2025. Motion. Morgan made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Mr. McNabb, second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Motion carries. Number 8 is approval for Scott Garber and 6 to 9 forestry students from Pocahontas County High School to go to Mountain Gateway Community College in Clifton Forge, Virginia on December 24th, 2023. Getting tongue tied. Have motion?
So maybe.
Holmes made the motion. Do I have a second?
It's
Mr. Gibson, second.
number 4, not 24, not Christmas Eve.
It's December 4th.
24.
That's 20.
No, 2020.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 9 is approval for a group of approximately 100 to 110 students and chaperones from Morgantown Middle School to go on a CTE experience at WVU, Morgantown, West Virginia on December the 6th, 2024.
So maybe.
Hold made motion. Do I have a second? May have a second. Okay. Those in favor, signify by saying aye. Number 10, approval of Pocahontas County girls basketball team to travel to Summers County High School, Platestem, West Virginia for a basketball tournament on December the 20th, 2024.
So maybe.
Mr. McCombs made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Gibson seconds it. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 11, approval from the Pocahontas County Board of Education for 6 students at Pocahontas County High School to be granted an attendance exemption for the 24-25 school year to have a partial day schedule and then report to work.
So maybe.
Mr. McCombs made the motion. Do I have a second? Mrs. Hollingsworth seconded it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
We're waiting on you.
Do they have jobs already?
Yes.
Or are they going to get,
No,
so they have
They
jobs?
have. I think maybe one of them is in between right now because their summer job ended and they're in the, but I think on this person said that they had one lined up and they're working again.
Okay.
But they have these, the partial day is just finishing up their credits. They have to graduate and then they're working.
We've done this before.
Yes.
So,
So I don't have a problem with.
No,
it,
you just
but-
want to know if they have a job.
Yeah, no, they're not piddling. They actually are working.
is this the workaround to the absentee issue then? If, like, the new absentee policy,
No, this is, they have to have a full schedule. And because they only have so many credits they need to graduate, there are no additional classes for them to take. And these are proximity students that are doing online courses. And you can't take the same class twice.
all right,
They're covered under all the three.
Yeah, this is,
My younger son did this.
pardon,
My younger son did this.
Yeah, the work-based.
Month of his senior year. At the end, when he graduated, he went to work full time the next day and worked until he went to dawn.
Good.
I did too.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Motion carries. Number 12 is approval of a memorandum of understanding MOU between Pocahontas County Schools and M3T project related to Jennifer Nail Cook's participation as the M3T fellow followed for the term of August 24th to July 2025. Do I have a motion?
So maybe.
Mr. McCollum made the motion. Do I have a second? Mrs. Hollingsworth second. And all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Okay, approval of parent and community volunteers. Have a motion?
So maybe.
Mr. McCollum made the motion. Have a second?
I second.
Mr. Gibson, second.
And just look at the list of volunteers.
13.
13. Okay. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Uh,
Motion carries. Approval of service and professional personnel. Motion,
That moves.
second. Second, Mr. Gibson, second. Mrs. Ball.
And if anyone's getting cold, I was texting Mr. Gibson. Because we do turn the heat down in the evenings. Sorry. Green Bay Elementary Middle School employment of Todd Jones as head basketball coach for the girls, effective December 4th, 2024, for the 24-25 athletic season with a supplement of $1,125. Reassignment of Sarah Brown from Title I teacher at Green Bay to teacher of kindergarten at Green Bay, effective December 4th, 2024, for the remainder of the 24-25 school year and thereafter. Also, we added to this agenda the volunteer boys basketball coach, Stephen Simmons, for this season. At Hillsborough Elementary, we're asking for a creation of position of a special education classroom bus aide effective for the remainder of the 24-25 school year. Reassignment of Paulina School Prep from special education ECAT to an ECAT special education bus aide, second grade. So she's in the second grade classroom as the aide pending ECAT certification. Arlington Middle School mentor Denise Sharp is mentor Abby Cox at $25 an hour for up to 50 hours for a total of $1,250. Pocahontas County High School resignation of David Moore as volunteer head golf coach, effective November 22nd, 2020. And also employment of the following as a substitute teacher for Pocahontas County Schools at statement of professional salary. By school year, Peter Monaco Jr.
Favor, signify by saying aye.
Uh,
Matters of the board, Mr. Gibson.
Oh, well, I got a bunch of stuff. First thing was the issue with the counselor at the high school. Sounds like we dealt that pretty much. I have a question from community. What do they do with they have the cardboard collection things at the different facilities? Where does that go? That cardboard, does it get taken to recycling or is it taken to landfill?
Landfill.
It just goes to landfill. Okay. All right. 2, transcripts again. Here's one. People really like the 2 and 3 hour break. That seems to be a good thing. And I agree. A lot of times the road, it gives it gives the DOT time to get out there and treat the road, and then we go back to school. The absentee policy is going to be a problem. Miss Julie, so the absentee policy, if parent, for 4-H state fair thing coming up next, let's just say the next state fair, right? Can parents plan ahead and ask for that to be approved with the board?
Change the transition from before the policy about education. Now the state has taken that out. And it's not the end of the world having an excused absence on student register. What their focus is chronic absenteeism, the total overall absence, that they don't reach 10% of the school year, which is 18 days. So they have 10 parent notes, and that's to be for illness, not for just what parents, if they wanted to take the, previously they could have used that because it was a little language, was a little more loose, but now it's not. It's a parent illness, or family member illness, and then they have medical notes. But even in that, what chronic absentee is, it includes medical notes that they have an orthodontist appointment, doctor's appointment, parent notes, and then excuse. When it gets to that number of over 18, but that's a concern. But it's not the end of the world having an excuse on there. It's just not an excuse for absence, even though I'm a huge supporter of 4-H and FFA. Always have been.
Well, this,
But it's not me to say, it's what the state's put in the policy.
people are upset about this. You know,
And they can share their concern with the state legislature.
that's the legislature, so there's no workaround. We can't have it put on the agenda and we can't approve that.
No, it's code, state code. The State Department of Education adapted their policy to the state code that our state legislature.
And that's all I have. Thank you.
Tom Jordan?
thing. We have in the past, every year, given trays to the faculties, the schools. There is 6 people. I just need to know whether we want to continue that.
You got some name?
Well, everybody.
I don't have a problem.
And then we have to pick a day. of the year. And then it's the last day.
It's December the 20th. That is a early semester. Right.
Yeah, they can. That's all you.
I know what you're saying.
I was still hoping Becky would take care of them too. So if we get it on the 2nd. So again, no, we get 4 trays.
Okay,
3 trays.
you can go figure.
No.
You can take care of.
You're in charge.
He'll write you the check.
Okay.
I may have a great deal somewhere.
No, that,
Okay.
I think we covered a lot.
The only, I've got one question that's concerning, I don't know whether to look at policy or either state policy or county policy. And what it'll get calls from Marlington Elementary or Marlington Middle School. Those with the Wi-Fi ticket. It's kind of the same thing with the high school. When they give it, they turn it on at a certain time. Or just at the field house, how does
The field house, gets turned on at 3:30 in the evening. But it's not the field house, it's press box.
just,
It's just the press box. It ain't never got to the field house. They're trying to get it, down there. Now,
So,
the Wi-Fi does work great out of the press box.
yeah, so we have the ability to turn on a guest network. We have that capability. We just need to tell us that needs to happen. The other thing is I would highly recommend talking to Ms. Scotch about it. Because in the past, they have issues with students understanding what's appropriate.
well, the one that what I'm getting from fact, which I know. I understand why the faculty would want it, but then I understand why they should. Well, I mean, that's why I'm bringing it up in front of you. What is your all's opinion on that? Just for faculty, but I don't have to.
Are you talking school day or after school?
Both. 'Cause I've got,
Okay.
yeah, because the ones that are up there coaching, Well, my son's coach, he said, somebody gets hurt, he said, I don't have access, to call.
You do.
He doesn't respond. I'm talking about. Oh, the middle school.
They turned off in the evening?
We
Haven't turned it on. Nobody has access to it except Missy and Press.
We talked about it, but I
Yeah,
didn't,
we
because I
want
didn't
to do that.
get a chance to talk
We
to
want to
Nebraska
do
about it.
Yeah.
That's exactly. That's
Here's what
exactly.
I suggested. So close and firm. And when I suggested that, teachers and also know that students will have, working on the hundreds of deals and expectations.
Right. I don't think the students need it, but I can see.
And there's a group of soldiers on that budget.
But that's what I thought, the phone.
What's that?
We should have that technology.
Oh,
They have
They want
access to it.
there.
They do have access to it. They have access to the purchase office for sure.
Right.
So if they got access to a phone, that's.
They do all.
Really?
In Green Bay, they do the purchase office. I know.
Yeah, sure.
There are different situations. And there's usually a custodian always there.
That's all I've got.
The only thing I have as a board, we need to watch what we are emailing. It's okay to get information, but we don't need to be sending emails out, bashing employees at the 11 people in the seat. Don't send one out. We need to know who we're sending to. And we need to be careful what we're sending among each other. Definitely don't need to send out emails that have 11 people in contact.
Well, first of all, we can't respond.
That's the
And I had this discussion a while ago. We can't respond to an email. If you send me an email saying, school is going to be shut down tomorrow, I read it. But I'm not going to refer back because if I do, and then you do, and then Sam does, that puts a meeting. So we can't respond back. Staff needs to realize this also. Whenever they shoot out 10 different emails trying to tell us policy, and one person on the board responds back, you're not going to get any more responses. Because we can't do that in the law. For us to do that under the sunshine. Anything else you got?
We need to watch what's going on. One person.
One person. Yeah, but I don't even,
Oh, we can't reply to all.
no, I don't even reply to one person. Don't mean I don't get Mrs. Falk's emails. I do, but if she sends them out, and I know it's going to you, I know it's going to Morgan, then I don't respond to it because we've been over that. Yeah, I don't. Matters of the board, you got anything else? Sherry, when we're gonna have budget meetings? Whenever I look back through my notes, we always had them in December before. Huh?
They're going to be budget meetings.
It was before. When are you? But,
It may be January.
okay, here's what I don't want us to do though. I want us to have budget meetings because I don't want us to come up here in April.
Salary, we're not out of an agreement. You
Okay, it's not salary. I want to see the whole budget.
have a whole budget.
I got the 24 budget, but this is the 24-25 school year. Okay, so our budget goes from 24-25. Now, I don't want us to end up like we did last year. And then in April, you send out RIF letters because, and the first thing you think of is we got to cut somebody. Now, if we know ahead of time, we might be able to make a provision or something before we don't have to do that.
You shouldn't have put the posting in the work.
Well, I have never got an answer from you, Sherry, on whether we're over or under. I asked that a month ago and I've never got an answer back. I asked you at one meeting, whenever we was going to hire a special education teacher. And I said, are we over or are we under? Okay? But we need to see that because what happens whenever we send out these RIF letters, even though we might rescind them, it kills the morality of our whole staff at that school, not only counting the teacher. And we're losing teachers because of it, because whenever they get that letter, they're not sitting on their fist and leaning back on their thumb. They're finding jobs. And that's what's happening to our staff, and we're already understaffed.
They can find a job anywhere.
And if they don't, they can just, all they got to do is file online and become a virtual teacher, and they're hiring everybody they can get their hands on, and they can set them to do the job. But, and that's why it's so important that we get that budget and we can look it over and see what's going on. And we did, because whenever I was on the board 6 years ago, whenever I look back through my notes, we did it in December.
Well, and I think what probably they want to be part of. They can be part of salaries. No. But it can be part of budget.
That's right. They want to
But the budget is not salary.
70% of it, 75%.
There's another 25%.
Now, yeah, and you're right, Ms. Alford, but let me break this down. The citizens of this county has a perfect right to know because 33% of their tax dollars goes to the school system.
I give them a detail of it. And I make it very simple. I don't put it in a Weedus file. I put it in an Excel file and tell you what each line is.
I know.
And then you all approve it. You can disapprove it. But I cannot change the salary.
We know that.
We know.
We know that. We're not going
But
to
the
change it.
county,
So,
people that want to do that, don't know.
well, we can explain it. We can talk to them and tell them we can't change it. You know, it's kind of like our grants. We get grants for a certain thing. We've got to spend it on that thing. We can't change it. But most of your general public don't know the difference between a 11 and a 13. So we got to educate them that, you know, 11 is our general fund. 13 is a different
Yeah,
fund.
they don't.
12 is a different fund. And I'm not being mean, Sherry. I want to look at that budget badly whenever we get it done.
And I get it.
But should, well,
You also ask people to tell you what they want to do. They're gonna put it in their agenda items.
we're not going to ask them what they want to do. We want to look at it. We want to see the budget. Huh?
Yeah, I'll always give you a call.
All right, I'm down. Okay. Our next Board of Education meeting will be held on Tuesday, December 13th, 2024, beginning at 6 p.m. at Pocahontas County Board of Education from room in Buckeye, West Virginia. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Mr. Conway, the motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. McNabb, second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Motion carried. On our next board meeting, this should have been the fourth. So, I'm not gonna be there.